All right, y'all, what it do, what it do, what it do? Your boy is back on the grind. One more time, your boy is back at it again, you guys. And man, this video I think is much needed. I don't think it's talked about enough. I just think it's a problem that a lot of G-bodies, a lot of old schools actually have, especially through that late 70s through the 80s range of cars. And so in particular, these G-bodies, infamous for just having air blow through the floor and the defrost and having no vent air. So I thought I would make a video about it. Now, with that being said, the reason why I came across this is because, for one, I didn't have any air blowing through the vents. Found this out from when I was recharging my AC system, which, by the way, is blowing damn cold. But this is actually about air not blowing through the vents. And very popular subject. However, I don't think it's well documented. There are some videos out there where people kind of test and, talk about it a little bit, but they don't really show like why and what happens when it does this and how to fix it. So anyways, long story short, pulled out the heater controls and started messing with the hoses at the vacuum selector valve, and I'll show you that here in a moment, and started to hear some hissing. So once you hear that, you know there's a leak somewhere. And I started messing with the hose, and it was kind of coming from the hose, but I was fiddling around with it. It wasn't doing that all the time. Then I started kind of moving the vacuum selector valve around, and sure enough, it was making noise every time I pushed it. It would seal it. It would make it worse and whatnot. So decided to take it off, and I'm gonna actually show you what it looks like right now. Well, I think it's my issue. I haven't hooked it back up yet, but we'll look at it right now and I'll show you. But if you're new to the channel, do everything by subscribing. I'll hit the notification bell, all the good stuff. Y'all, Mr. Grimmett 23 in the building. Let's take a look at this. Oh. What you're looking at is the vacuum control valve. So this is a two-piece part, and it actually goes on like that. Okay, so what happens is this piece right here, this little nipple that you see right there at the top, flip this over. This right here is actually hooked up to a guide that's on the climate selector control assembly. So it just kind of goes up and down that guide, but it also rotates at the same time. So that actually sits right here. And then you can see these passages in there. So those are your vacuum passages. You see these holes right here. Okay. And then you see these ports. So these ports are hooked up to vacuum sources behind the dash. So vacuum lines. And each line is dedicated to something in the car. That's what these holes actually represent. So when you select it on your climate selector, vents, then let's just say it goes to like this hole here, goes through this passage, and then it controls opening the vents. All right, so you'll hear something happen. The doors close and the routes air to the vents and whatnot. So make a long story short, you guys, without boring you, sometimes this goes bad or it gets compromised. In my case, I think somebody suspected it was going bad, and then they tried to fix it. Reason why I say that is because, so this screw and nut with that little paper washer, somebody put red Loctite on it, and I'm like, why would you put red Loctite on this? Yes, you don't want it to come loose, but like, really odd to me that you would put red Loctite. So it was super hard to get off. And with all these ports right here, you can't stick a wrench in there because there is no room to get a wrench in there, because the nut, this nut right here, sits right in the middle, along with these nylon washers. So you got two nylon washers that sit in that hole in here, and then the bolt goes through, and then it's held down by that nut. Also, what I did find is there was a port right here, right there, that was broken. And I think that also caused a vacuum issue because it was just open. So if anything was selected that fed air to this or whatnot, it would just leak air. So that would actually cause things not to work correctly in here as well. Now, what I did find out is there's a couple of these. I think that one that was broken, and then another one that's not used, but it's just capped by a vacuum plug when you put the whole assembly on there. So if I can show you right there. And I'll do a better video on the car here. I'm just actually just trying to do this intro for you guys so you guys can understand what I'm talking about. And that's my issue, I believe. Also, too, I don't know if this was how it came from the factory, but there's this like paper gasket that goes back here like this, and then the bolt goes through that, and then that's what basically applies pressure to the backside. But you can see here, there's a ring on the outside of here with this little paper gasket, and I don't think that it's applying good enough pressure down or even pressure all the way around to allow this to get a good seat. I could be wrong, but there's probably a reason why this circle is here. So I just thought that I would get a bigger washer, because this will spin against the backside of it, so you can select what you need from the inside of the car. And I want it to be able to spin freely, but also get a good seal at the same time. So anyway, sorry for the long intro, but that is what I believe the culprit is for my car. Little notch right here, or this knob arm, goes in this little track right here from the bottom. This sits in a little slot, and this is what anchors it down with a screw right here from the bottom. It's good to have power tools. Just be careful not to go too tight. Should be good. Okay. That screw is really close to riding on that track, but I think that's just kind of how it is anyway. This light will go back in here. Let's see how freely this thing moves. So you can see right here how it goes up and down that track. So this is your vacuum selector valve. So whatever you select, defrost, heater, vent, bi-level, norm for the AC and max, all the way till off. This thing rotates freely, so that's good. All right. So just in case if you don't know, you got your pink and gray coming from the firewall from the engine compartment. Pink is the vacuum all the time. The gray lead is coming from the heater control valve. So that's basically what gives you heat when you select it. And then you have all your other ports here. They basically get vacuum fed to it once you select it from this valve here. So with that being said, we'll see if this dang thing works. All right, y'all, so cold start.
straight to vents. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Hold on. Ooh, we got action. We got action. Vents ain't never blowed like that before. All right, heater. I should get air from the floor. There we go. Defrost. No air right now. There we go. Yes, sir. Let's go ahead and turn the AC on. Normal. Woo-wee. Yes, sir. Blowing them ice cubes as it should. Getting a little colder, a little colder, a little colder. Yes, I think that was a fix. AC. Blowing them ice cubes. We are in the game. All right, y'all, so one other thing while I got this car running right now and there's vacuum to the HVAC system right now, I'm gonna show you something real quick that I'm gonna actually do in a separate video. But as you can see, the AC is on norm right now, which means it's blowing out the vents, nothing out of the defrost. So this door down here, it should be closed. I'm gonna take out the stand and I'm gonna show you something real quick. On these cars, Gbodies in particular, that I know for sure, and I'm sure there's other ones in that same era, the same style genre of cars and whatnot that GM used in the 80s, late 70s, 80s, but this could apply to some other ones as well. On the floor, if you have a condition where air is always being blown to the floor and to the defrost, that issue that we just did can correct it. Vacuum leaks, check, you know, here, these are your vacuum lines here. Those could go bad. Check the vacuum lines behind the heater controls and then check your vacuums up here. Just make sure you have the correct vacuum hooked up so you can actually get vacuum to the system. For me, I actually didn't have it hooked up correctly. I had this line that goes to the firewall inside actually hooked up, but it was hooked up to the cruise control. So I didn't have it teed off to a vacuum source off the intake. And so it was getting no vacuum. So I had air because of the blower motor was still blowing air in, but default, and then because of the air duct, it just goes to the floor and to the defrost, but it won't give you any selections for vent, heater, and such because there's no vacuum hooked up to it. But you'll still have air regardless. So that's why if the system ever fails, that's why you always get air to the floor and to the defrost of the windshield. So anyways, one little trick that I do, and one thing that happens on these cars is, and hopefully you guys can see this. All right, so I should have probably left the car running so you guys can kind of see this better. Oh man. I don't know if you guys can see. That's probably the best I can do. Hold on, y'all. All right, this might be a little better. Yeah, that's better. Okay, so this is your mode door. Boom. Right here. Okay, up there, that's your mode door with all that foam attached to that door. So there's a pod back behind here where my pointer's pointing to, my pick tool. There's a pod back there, so when it applies vacuum and you select vent or whatever, then this door will open and close, or partially stay open or close all the way based off of what you select. For example, if it's gonna close all the way, I don't know if I can reach it. Oh, there, maybe. Boom. Okay. So it goes all the way down. It shuts off the air to it. All right. But look at this here. So you see that gap here? See that gap over there? Okay. So that foam has deteriorated, so it can't seal this heater box here, or this air duct here. So it can't seal it off. So you're going to get air flowing through it nonstop all the time. And you can see all that foam that has deteriorated over the years. So that's what it was for. Now I have a little trick that I do just with a piece of cardboard from a cereal box and some styrofoam sheeting that's really thin, and it helps to seal this up, and I'll go over that in another video. But that is the culprit. That's why you always get air out of the bottom. Now because of that, let me get out of here. Now, because of that, air to the vents won't come out as efficient or as hard because you have air also being directed to the floor. And because of that, it's introducing warm air from the cabin. Let's say if you have your AC on, it's introducing warm air from the cabin. Even though it's blowing out, there's still air that can get in, and the air to the vents won't cool as efficient. Also, it's blowing all the air from the evaporator, because all the air goes to the evaporator, cools, then goes into the cabin, right? So it's getting that air from the evaporator to the vents, and then it's going to the floor, so it can't cool as efficient coming out of the vent. So once you seal that off, even better than what it is right now, even if it's 50% better, then that air will just be forced all out of the vent, and you'll get that nice cold air, or warm air if you have the heater selected, coming into the vents, and it helps tremendously, you guys. Trust me. Again, all I use is a cereal box. I just cut it out to fit that, and then I use some styrofoam sheeting, which is what I just have left over from something else right here. Let's say that foam is the total width of that floor duct down at the bottom. Then when it's opening and closing, it can just guide along the walls of that duct, and it can flex with it without actually having the cardboard being compromised and bending and maybe getting that flap door stuck or something like that. So I just cut the cardboard a little bit wider than that flap door, and then I put some of this foam in there and put it on the back side of that cardboard, and then glue it up there. I usually use shoe glue. You guys remember shoe glue? I've always used that with great success, but I don't have any. But I actually have something better. I have some Landau adhesive glue that's used for headliners and things like that. So it's high heat. So being that it'll sometimes get hot air too, so that'll probably hold a lot better. So anyways, I don't want to talk your ear off about that, but stay tuned for that. I'm gonna do a video on that because that's been a request of mine from a buddy of mine. So stay tuned for that, all right? But anyways, if you're new to the channel, do everything by subscribing. I hit the notification about all that good stuff. Y'all Instagram between there in the building. I don't want to talk your ear off anymore. I actually got to get some yard work done and get a bunch of things done before next week, before I have the surgery on my shoulder. So anyways, y'all, I'm going to go ahead and get out of here. You guys know what to do. Like, comment, subscribe, share. Do all that good stuff, y'all. Instagram between there in the building. I'm out. Deuces. Peace out.